Just keep your eyes closed. Or if you are comfortable with your eyes open, you can do so. Direct your attention to yourself. I hope by now you have seen it very, very clearly as to how this knowledge of yourself, to be who you are, is the simplest, easiest, effortless. There is absolutely nothing complicated about it. It is something so natural, always existing. To be yourself, to be conscious, listen carefully. To be yourself, to be conscious, to be the consciousness, there is nothing needs to be done. There is no waiting for any kind. Absolutely nothing remains to be done. Please see these friends. To see something, you have to open your eyes. That object also must be there. To listen, you must have your ears, and there should be sound. To touch, your skin must be there, and the object of touch should be available. To taste, your tongue should be ready. Object of taste should be available. To smell, nose you must have, and also the fragrance around. In every perception, please see that. In every perception, conditions apply, natural. To see, the objects must be there, the eyes must be there. If this is true, please listen and see that, be that. If this is true for your senses, for your sense organs, for your sense perception, conditions apply. In physical activity, karmendriya, to use your hands, legs, your speech, your physical activity, again conditions apply. To walk, your legs must be used. To lift, accept or reject, hands must be used. To speak, the tongues must be used. For any action, conditions need to be applied. There are certain conditions. To act as well as to perceive, conditions apply. But to be conscious, you don't have to see or not to see. You don't have to hear or not to hear. To taste or not to taste. To touch or not to touch. To smell or not to smell. To act or not to act. To be yourself, to be conscious, to be the consciousness. No thought is needed, no thought redundant. obstacle. To be conscious, to be the consciousness, no action is needed. No action can prevent you from being yourself, who you are. Just see the beauty of that wisdom. You are conscious. You are as much conscious, the consciousness, as you close your eyes. That much you are conscious when your eyes are open. With the eyes open, you see many things, but that doesn't make you unconscious. With your eyes closed, you don't see many things, but that doesn't make you unconscious. So it is so effortless, as we have been telling friends. This is what you must see, as Janaka has seen, and the teacher ASHTAVAKRA has conveyed. The simplicity, effortlessness of this wisdom. Your day must begin with that. Consciously being conscious. You choose to be yourself, who you are. Ultimately, in which there is no choice. In consciousness, to be conscious, there is no choice. To see or not to see, there is a choice. You may choose to close your eyes or open your eyes, if you are healthy. In case there is old age, disease, the eyes can be lost, you cannot protect it. But the old age will not make you unconscious. You may lose the capacity to listen. As time passes, body is aging, sense organs aging. It can make you incapable of seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, or smelling. Or even physical activity. You may not be used, you may not be able to use your hands and legs and your entire physical body. By the old age, the disease will not make you unconscious. As much you are conscious of your health, your youth, that much you shall be conscious of your old age, and if there is any disease. Yourself, who you are, unconditional, no conditions apply. I hope you have seen it. But no more you are tormented, tortured, affected by the types of thoughts, the perceptions and the actions you come across in life. see the instantaneousness, the immediacy of this wisdom. Long before you start to speak, long before when a thought arrives, first you are yourself, conscious the consciousness. Call it Ishvara. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesya Arjuna tishtati. As Krishna says, hey Arjuna, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesya tishtati. That is existing in everybody's heart. Between the thoughts, in and around the thoughts. Name it Ishvara if you like. Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutasya Sthita. Hey Arjuna, I am the self in all the beings. When you say the word I, the core of your existence, the sense of your being, the same in all the beings. Name it Ishvara, Krishna, Narayana, Shiva, whatever names you like. Sasiva, Sahari, Sendra, Sokshara, Paramaswarat. Name it Shiva, Hari, Narayana, Indra, Indriyanam Raja, the king of the sense organs. Attribute a form to it, the formless absolute, Swarat, Swamahim Nirajate, who shines in his own glory. Consciousness, awareness, Chaitanya Atma, in all the beings. Name it Ishvara, Narayana, Hari, masculine, or call it Yadevi Sarvabhutesu, Sarvarupena Sanstita, Namastasya, 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 Namo Namah. That mother, my prostrations, who exists in all the beings, in all possible ways. Matru-rupena sanstita, Shakti-rupena sanstita, exist in all beings as the mother, the power, but in all beings, in all the forms. To her, no prostration, she alone is. So name it Paramatma, Bhagavan, Brahman, Atma, Ishvara, or one and the same. The dimension, your sense of being, which is ever there. Not many people are aware of it. You are aware of your activities, your sensations, your perceptions, but you lose sight of that in whose presence you are aware of everything. Remember the example. You are listening to me at this moment. If you are listening, you have your ears. And while listening, you are more aware of the sounds, and you are never aware of your own ears. The speech, you listen, the ears unaware. yet it exists. And listen, friends, as you see something, you accept you have your eyes. But what you see, you are aware. You forget your eyes when you see something. Please listen to this carefully. Long before, please listen to this statement. See it and be it. Long before, you see something, the seeing has already started. Seeing is continuous. What you see comes and goes. Sense of listening is continuous. The sounds go and vary. So long before you see something, the seeing has started. Long before you listen to something, the listening is continuous. Long before you touch something, the touching is continuous. Long before you taste something, the tasting has begun. Long before you smell something, the smelling has started. These seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, continuous because consciousness is continuous. At the level of your eyes, it is seeing. At the level of your ears, it is hearing. At the level of your touch, it is touching. At the level of your smell, no, it is smelling. At the level of your eyes, it is seeing. In all these, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, consciousness is common. Always there. So long before you see something, as when seeing has started, long before your eyes see, being conscious is already there. Long before you listen something, listening has started. And long before you focus on your ears to listen, consciousness is already there. Your sense of being precedes your sense of seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling. Your sense of who you are begins long before what you see, what you hear, what you touch, what you taste, what you smell. Your sense of being, who you are, is a beginningless existence, always there, long before you're seeing or hearing or touching, tasting, or in one word, your sensing has started, perceiving has started, or your acting or action has started. So see that for yourself. When the electricity goes, AC stops, fan stops. The sound stops. Listening doesn't stop, nor it dismisses your being conscious. There is no switching off. There is no failure in consciousness. But nobody can switch it off. Even when your body goes to rest, sense organs close, mind folds up in a deep sleep state. There is consciousness because of which you remember waking up that there was no experience of any kind, no thoughts of any kind. You slept well. To remember that you slept well, and there was nobody or nothing, you must be there. As your fans stop, electricity fails, you will feel the warmth at the level of your body. Awareness, yourself, unaffected by it. See that, friends. In this deep silence, sounds have stopped. But you are conscious, you are not unconscious. You can close your eyes not to see anything, but you can't be unconscious. Thank you, friends. Just see that point again. I'll explain to you, and please go back. I had been to some place last week in a mountain. I was just sitting down there. Suddenly this thought came, which I shared with you, that how, listen carefully, how seeing has begun long before you see something. Listen carefully. Seeing is continuous. The flower I put in front of you. Seeing is continuous. Are you getting that point, please? It's like accommodation. The space is continuous. What is existing in space that goes on changing. Now there is a cloud. Now there is a star. Now there is a mountain. Now there is a tree. Now there is a cyclone. But long before cyclone comes, things happen, things change. In space, the space is already there. Long before something is accommodated, accommodation is already existing. So long before you see something, the seeing is already there. Do you understand that idea? Seeing is not our creation. Seeing, natural. Hearing, that sense of hearing is continuous. Do you understand that? I hope you understand that. See it clearly. Your sense of hearing is continuous. Only when you pick up a sound, oh, you get excited. You are not excited by your sense of hearing. Are you getting that? You are not getting excited by your sense of seeing. But when you see a sunrise, oh, it's so beautiful. But you don't enjoy seeing. Because you enjoy sunrise, the sun has already risen up, gone up, disappointed, or go for the next excitement. What we see excites you more than the seeing itself. You say living in a house excites you more. Living with a car, living with a person, living in something excites you more than the living itself. Tell me, friends, what is most important? I have told you already so many times. The most important ingredient to enjoy life is to be alive. Your sense of living is so important that I'm alive. But for most people, living in what house, what car, what place, what they eat, that is more important than being alive. So the sense of seeing is continuous. What you see comes and goes. So long before you see something, your seeing has started. Long before you listen something, your listening is already there. So what is this listening? You are being conscious at the level of the capacity of your ears. Your ears have the potential, your ears have the capacity to catch the sound. You are conscious. So long before you are conscious of the capacity to listen, already you are conscious. Just like long before you see something, seeing is continuous. Long before you start listening something, listening is continuous. This listening is a word that talks about the capacity of the ears that function. Seeing is a capacity of the eyes. But both the eyes and the ears are blessed by the consciousness. You are being conscious. So long before you see something, as when seeing has started, long before you enjoy the capacity of seeing, with your eyes. Listen, consciousness has started. That is why you can lose the capacity of your eyes to see. You go blind, but you don't go unconscious. You go deaf, but you don't go unconscious. Being conscious. Being alive is to be conscious, to be yourself. Long before you are alive with the body, listen, it's so fantastic. That idea killed me that day. I wrote it down just to share with you. Long before your sense of being alive with the body begins, a sense of being is already existing. The body comes in time. The body ages in time. The body shall disappear in time. Even if you are an incarnation, your body shall move. Even if you are embodiment of divinity, the body shall disappear. Whether the microcosm, the small, the individual, the jiva, with one body, or it is macrocosmic, Ishvara assumes a body. It will come to an end. But what will not come to an end is your sense of being, which is already there. So long before you come alive, you are immortal. It's not a philosophical postulation, extension. Your sense of being. So when you see this about yourself as to who you are, you discover everything, everybody is same in this universe. Essentially, the essential humanity, essentially, everything in this universe has the same content. Brahmadi Pipilika Paryantam, beginning from Brahma, the creator, to the tiniest animal, the ant. Abrahma Stamba Paryantam, beginning from the Brahman, Brahma, the creator, or Stamba, the pillar, unconscious entity. The whole range, infinite range of this creation are the same content, awareness that you are. The subject is so vast, average person may find it difficult to comprehend it. That is why you study. This beautiful, our shastras. You start with your ABCD, Tattvad and other things, go into all. ASHTAVAKRA Gita is the ultimate. Where here you are seeing, the student doesn't need any teaching. He is not a student anymore, nor there is a teacher, nor there is a teaching. You don't begin with that. This is absolute truth, already existing. But we start with a relative falsehood. You don't start with relative truth. There is no relative truth. It's all falsehood only. It's ultimately falsified. Upasanta Jagat Jiva Sishya Acharya Ishvara Brahmam. It comes in your Advaita Makaranda. Upashanta Jagat Jiva Sishya Acharya Ishvara Brahmam. These are the 5 Brahma, delusion, illusion. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Shishya, Acharya. Jagat, Ishvara, Shishya, Acharya. These 4 will be lasting as long as Jiva is lasting. If you, the jiva individual, doesn't exist, creation has no problem, the creator is not a problem. Creation has no problem of its own. Creator, if you say where the creation and creator both one and the same, also has no problem. He is no problem, he has no problem. She is no problem, she has no problem. It is no problem, it has no problem. Masculine, feminine, neuter, whatever you say. Only jiva. When the individuality begins, I begins, you, he becomes real. That is why, friends, the beginning point is you and the end point is you, I, aham. That must be seen. Most people are externalized. They start with a God, they start with the creation. Yes, any point can be a beginning point. But ultimately you come back to the I, individual, before you go into macrocosm, creation or the creator. That is the beauty of this knowledge. What a tradition. You must begin with yourself, because without you, the creation is not a question. Creation is not a mystery. Neither creator is a mystery. Only when the individual is not aware of himself, because of the presence of this individuality, everything becomes a mystery. Understand? Do you appreciate that? Don't ever say, the creation is mysterious, unless you have that sense of mystery, that question. Who questions? Creation doesn't question, creator doesn't question, I question. That is why the best question is not whether God is there or creation is there, but who is the questioner, where from the questions come. You understand how important? You must know where to begin. An efficient teacher, that is the tradition of ours, helps the individual who can begin from anywhere, but to bring it back to himself. Because you can begin from where you are. You can't have a right beginning. Suppose for you, creation seems to be confusing, so you ask question about creation. For you, creator is confusing, ask question about the creator. For you, food is a problem, start with the food. Emotion is a problem, love, hatred, jealousy, start with the emotion. Whatever tortures you, you start with that. But the teacher, the scripture facilitates your beginning from anywhere, ultimately to yourself. You cannot resolve the problem or the mystery of the universe without resolving the mystery that is yourself. There's a very simple example that they give is so nice. An egg, a simple egg. If you break it from the top, the baby will die inside. When the baby breaks it from the inside, life comes out of it. You break it from the top, it will be dead. When you evolve from within, you understand, begin from yourself, the creation is beautiful. Creator, everything is so graceful, blissful. everything is divine. When you start with the creation, always engaged in creation, perception, analyzing other people, analyzing sounds and sights and taste and touches and smells, sensations, emotions, but never seeing yourself doesn't solve the problem. So you come back to yourself as to who you are. And once you see that your sense of being is something always exists, long before your living begins with the body, you are already alive in consciousness. Long before your seeing begins with the eyes, you are already being conscious. Just see that principle. That is why it is very important that a person appreciates that he must know about himself. This is what the heart of the scripture. Siddhasya siddhi. Siddhasya siddhi, accomplishing the already accomplished. Praptasya prapti, to gain something which already gained. No teacher, no scripture. Nobody can give you something which you already are not. Just listening to that, suddenly don't be proud. I am enlightened unto myself. I don't need a teacher, I don't need scripture. If you really see that for yourself, why are you resisting a teacher or a scripture or anything? Because you don't see it, you are resisting or craving. Somebody is craving for a teacher, he doesn't know it. Somebody is resisting a teacher, he doesn't know it. You don't need to crave anything in this universe, nor you can resist anything in this universe. Whatever comes, fantastic. Understand? This, the people who resist, there is a type of violence. Also craving, it's a type of violence, because I crave, I must get, nobody else must get. You become jealous. Or resisting, I don't want it, nobody should have it. Again violence. Violence, listen carefully. Violence is the immediate result of the incompetent, ignorant. The ignorant person takes immediate resort to violence. Immediately. Always, because he is incapable of seeing himself. Because he has not seen the truth of himself, therefore every time there shall be anger, hatred, jealousy. Even the so-called kindness, compassion, goodness, nobility will be used so that he can gain. That is not compassion. Yesterday, while coming about, somewhere I was driving to some part of Madras which I had never gone. Yesterday I had to go there. One flat owner has written, "We love our customers," 25th year. Flat owners, he's a flat builder. So he has written 25 years, "We love our customers." Really? You love your customers? Or you love the customers' money? Suppose they don't, so you love your customers. Why? Why not love everybody? What is this love? Only you love customers. You love customers? Or because they parted from with their money so that you could get something. They could get their house too. They didn't give you as a gift. They can say, we love our contractors. If the contractor takes the money, doesn't give the flat, think. You don't love somebody until you love yourself. All these things you have seen in the beginning classes. When you are at rest with yourself, you are in love with yourself, you are happy with yourself, everything is nice. Violence, resistance, cravings, none of these things ever touch you. Therefore, neither you torture yourself, nor you torture others. You are happy with yourself, you make everybody happy. If the person cannot share the happiness, his unhappiness is his personal. You don't cause any unhappiness. That is the wisdom. So this is something which already in you. How do I see this? Listen, this next line comes. Last class we saw, there is no sadhaka, no sadhana, no siddhi, right? Sadhaka, sadhana, sadhya, siddhi, 4 things. There is nothing sadhya, nothing to be achieved. It is already achieved. Because I think it is to be achieved, suddenly ahankar begins. I, sadhaka. I must achieve this. Therefore sadhana is a must. But when you discover what I see is already siddha, already existing, sadhaka disappears. When sadhaka disappears, nobody to name it as a sadhya, as something to be reached, a means to be reached, a person to reach it, or something is already reached. All these divisions completely disappear. Like, which is today coming, pramata. Read that verse, we shall see that, okay? Just read that. Verse number 8, please read. Kva pramata pramanam va prameyam kvacha pramam kinchit kvana kinchit va sarvada vimalasya me kva vikshepa kvachaikagryam kva nirbodha kva mudhata kva harsha kva vishado va sarvada niskriyasya me kvachaisha vyavaharo va kvachasa paramarthata kva sukham kvacha va dukkham nirbirmarshasya me sada. Very beautiful. Just see this. It's so nice. Just like there is nothing called sadhya, sadhana, sadhaka, siddha. All these differences are possible only when the individual is there. Are you getting that point, please? Very clear. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, so nicely, in 2nd chapter, how nicely Krishna talks to Arjuna. Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Hey Arjuna, yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarvetu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Vijanatah brahmanasya vijanatah. One who is vijnani, vijanata visheshena janatah, one who knows the reality of himself. That is the ultimate jnanam. The truth here is truth everywhere. One who knows it very clearly. Brahmana. Brahma janati di Brahmana. Such a person, vijanatah brahmanasya. So who is a Brahmana? Who knows the reality of himself. For him, how long should he study the Vedas? What is the use of the Vedas? Say Vedas are useful, how much? As much there is a usage in a well which was dug on the river bed and the river was dry. Now that the river is flooded, shall you go to your well to bring your water? It was a dry river. So you dug a well in the river bed to draw water in the summer. In the advent of the rain, when the whole river is flooded with water, will you look for your spot where the well was dug and from there you pick up the water? Same water everywhere. That much meaning in the Vedas, as much meaning is in the well when the river bed is flooded. When you did not know the truth about yourself, the Vedas, the Guru, the tradition guided you. The moment you see the reality for yourself, where shall you see the reality? In the book? In the person? In the studies? Wherever you are, there the truth is. In fact, truth is everywhere, you are everywhere. When you know about yourself, you are with everyone. Listen carefully. When you know about yourself, who you are with, even when alone, you are with everyone. When you don't know about yourself, even when with everyone, you are alone, lonely. And you understand the beauty. When you are aware of yourself as to who you are, even when you are alone, with your body, your mind, you are with the whole universe. There is nothing other than it. Name it Ishvara. Maya sarvam idam tatam jagat abhyakta murtina, as Bhagavan would say in Gita. By my unmanifest form, the whole universe is pervaded. You are comfortable with that. Or sarvatah panipadam tat sarvatokshi shiromukham sarvatah shrutimaloke sarvam avrutti tishtati. Everywhere is hands, everywhere is legs, all hands are his hands, all legs are his legs, all heads are his head, all bodies are his bodies. Which one you like? The physical body or the bodiless awareness? Both way you are comfortable. So when you see that for yourself, which word is not Shastra? Which perception is not meditation? Which action is not meditation? Which action is not worship? Which thought is not meditation? Which moment is not auspicious? Meaning, everything auspicious, everything meditation. Yadyat karma karomi tattadakhilam shambho tavaradhanam. O Lord, what all actions pass through this body, that is your supreme worship. Every moment is meditation. Meditation is not an isolated experience. Every experience is meditation. So as even when the whole river bed is flooded with water, you don't look for your own little well that you dug during the summer, when the whole existence is flooded with one consciousness, nothing other than it. You don't look for a teacher, the teaching, the pramata, pramana, prameya, prama, four things. Pramata, the knower, pramana, the means of knowledge, prameya, what is to be known, and prama, the knowledge itself. All the four are one and the same. You don't begin with that. This is end. That is why people who engage in intellectual deliberation by picking up ideas here and there, whether there is a pramana, whether pramada, prameya, whether it is eternal or they never get anything in life except confusion, 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 all the time shattered and battered. You start with yourself. When you disappear, creation disappears. A theist, listen carefully, a theist who believes in God but does not have the capacity or the understanding, the vision to lose himself in the God is as useless as even an atheist who dismisses God but doesn't dismiss himself. Are you getting that point? A theist, a believer in God, who talks about the God, worships God, cries for God, does everything without losing himself in God, is as useless as even an atheist who dismisses God but cannot dismiss himself. You understand that point? God is not problem, creation is not problem. You start with yourself. You start with yourself. That is where comes infinite patience, perseverance, acceptance of infinite kind. When you listen to the stories of the people, those who have insight into themselves, reveling in themselves, certain actions of them you can't comprehend. Mana apamanayo tulya, hugely respected, that doesn't go into their head. Famously disrespected, it doesn't bother them. It's a small story, those are very nice. It's about Eknath, they say, how far it is true, false, as much you know, that much I know. I was reading a book, story. It so happened one day, because he was such a person who never gets angry. Never gets angry. Most people will say, I never get angry. Only in your presence. They get angry in their own room also, they hit themselves. There are many people I know. They talk to themselves, stand in front of me, so restless. Continuously talking to themselves. Very angry with themselves. The phone doesn't work, they hit the phone. Sometimes the TV is broken. The plates are broken. Who broke it? There are some poltergeist, some ghostly appearance somewhere. They came and broke the... No, you wash it, it didn't wash. You wash it, it didn't wash. You ring the phone, it doesn't work. You ring the second time ring, it doesn't work. Like people break their rackets, people kick the ball. So after breaking it only, they'll say, oh, yes, by the time it's too late. Anyway, they said he's never angry. So some people wanted to tease him. So they sent somebody, hired somebody to tease him. So this fellow goes and for no reason abuses him. You are a crook, you are a rascal, your wife is like this, your husband like that, your wife... As much as it went on talking nonsense. for 1 or 2 hours. They don't bother, they are continue doing their own work. Then after some time his fellow is tired. Then Eknath smiles and says, now that you have already finished your discourse, what all things to be told you have finished, you must be very hungry. Please have some food and go. This fellow couldn't believe it, but he has come to, disgrace him or come to irritate him. So he goes there, okay, I'll eat. So sit down there. Goes there, sit down, as he likes and all that. Then the food is served. Then his wife is serving the food. Then he said, this is the time. Now I cannot really make them angry. Suddenly he goes and climbs on jumps onto the back of the Eknath's wife. Jumps to sit down. Then Eknath says to his wife, remember, careful, don't get up. Your child is on the top of you, on your back, he'll fall. Remember your child when he was? The wife says, yes, I remember the child. He was doing like this. This fellow also is a naughty fellow. This man did not know what to do. Listening to this, you may say, these are all stories. Even if it's a story, it has a value. And many people do that. They allow themselves to be disturbed, destroyed, so that the other person doesn't feel guilty. How much a person can swallow? And a person who knows himself, there is no limit to it. Aware of himself. Listen carefully. Always existing. How shall he know himself? That is where you don't begin with no pramata, no pramana, no prameya, no prama. I don't know myself. Okay, if I have to know myself, that first thing to appreciate that I must know about myself and not about the creation and the creator. Think. That I shall know about myself and not the creation or the creator. That is a huge step. Listen. You are using your eyes, ears to see, hear, taste, touch. And all these perceptions, listen carefully, all these perceptions has given you a sense of self. I see, I hear, I touch, I taste, I smell. Think of it. What is that noise somewhere? This fan, switch off the fan. Switch off. Bas, that's good. Yeah. Right, it's okay. Wait, that's all right. Now it's okay. It's okay, no? Yeah. Are you getting that point, please? By seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, by this pramana, when we see, we hear, you taste, we touch, we smell, this sense of perception, understand, this sense of perception gives us a strong individuality. I see, I hear, I touch, I taste, I smell, all this stuff. And what creates the problem? By now you should have understood everything clearly. It's not the perception creates problem. It's not the perceived creation creates the problem. Think. It's not the perception. It's not the perceived creation. Perceiver. I want to see, I don't want to see. You create your own problem. For the average person, world is problem. The creation is problem. People are problem. Your first graduation in life is when you come to discover none of these are a problem. I am the problem. Very, very difficult to accept. Very difficult. That it begins with me. All the problems, all the crisis begins with me, the individuality. It's like asking the thief to to confess that he is the one responsible. The ahankar to accept that I am at fault. So one who has accepted that I am at the fault and therefore he has come to this knowledge. I must know about myself. When I have to know about myself, I am ignorant of myself, I must know about myself. To know, you need the pramana, object of knowledge. Listen, subject of knowledge is yourself. I want to know, the I thought wants to know. How shall I know? 5 sense organs are not available. Because eyes cannot see the consciousness, ears cannot hear, tongue cannot taste, skin cannot touch, nose cannot smell. So only one pramana is available now, Sabda pramana. That is where the Shastra becomes a pramana. Tasma Shastram pramanamte. Scriptures becomes a pramana, your means of knowledge. The scripture becomes means of knowledge. Who is using it? The Guru. So Guru and Shastra becomes one and the same. Guru is like the eyes. Guru also becomes the pramana. Listen carefully. As when your eyes don't create the flower, your pramana, your means of knowledge doesn't create the flower, create the object, the Shastra and the Guru do not create the consciousness. Are you getting that point, please? They don't create the consciousness. And please see, I am making it very short and moving away. Please see, because all these things you have discussed. In a pramana vyavahara, in your eyes seeing, what comes first? Suppose you want to get the knowledge of the flower. What comes you first? The knowledge of the flower comes first or the experience of the flower comes first? Experience of the flower comes first. Because only if you see, somebody can point it out. So long before it is pointed out, you are already experiencing it. As it is in case of the objective knowledge, same thing in case of the subjective knowledge. Long before even somebody points out who you are already experiencing who you are. Already there. Eyes open to see this. The scriptures. So now, listen. The teachers reveal the truth. Teachers don't produce the truth. Scripture doesn't produce the truth. Are you getting that? The teacher doesn't produce, the scripture doesn't produce. Now, if the person still doesn't take place, knowledge doesn't take place, because where the knowledge must take place? In your mind. Mind must be ready. That is where this contemplation and other things are talked about. Because it can be, since you are already that, the defect of recognizing can be in 2 places, either the Guru's or the person. If the Guru is all right, person must be fixed. If the person is all right, Gurus must be fixed. To come across a Guru, one who is aware of this reality. Aho Guru, Aho Shastra, Aho Shastra. What a tradition, what a tradition. Those who know this. This is the secret of the tradition. But the teacher without doing anything reveals the reality. It's like eyes help you to see it. It's not an action. And once you see it for yourself, now suddenly pramana, means of knowledge, Guru, Shishya, Shastra, Ishvara, Jagat, everything disappears. Everything disappears. Think. Everything disappears. Upasanta Jagat Jiva Shishya Acharya Ishvara Brahman. Everything disappears because you are with yourself. That is why so far if you see that is gone, what thoughts, what no thoughts, what perception, what no perception, nothing is needed. Nothing is needed. Everything becomes beautiful. Are you getting that point, please? In all these things, everything disappears. Disappears means what? Not that after that the person who recognizes the truth, he starts dismissing everything. No, for him, Guru is no more required, teacher, he is no more a student, therefore there is no Guru, no teacher, no teaching, no pramana, no pramata, no prameya, nothing. He is siddha, therefore no sadhana, no sadhaka, no sadhya, none of these things are there. For him it is over. But he can always, like his teacher before, even after knowing there is nothing, played the role of a teacher. This also person can play the role of a teacher, playing the role. The person who understands the reality plays the role of a teacher. Those who do not understand the reality, they become Guru. Because for them, it's very important to be a Guru, important to be a philosopher. The person who knows the reality, for him it's important to be himself. The role is not more important. You understand why a person is like Murkhe, Murkha, Yuvati Shiva, Bhagmini, Prouda Bhagmi, Maune, Mauni, Gudini Gunavan, Pandite, Panditascha. How he moves like water in the water, oil in the oil. How does the person move like that? That is because he has seen very clear himself. Very clearly himself. Therefore, with the fool is a fool, with smart is smart. With poor is poor, with rich is rich. With suffering is suffering, with happy person is happy. Taile tailam, jale jalam. Therefore, what differences are there? It's like a breeze. Wherever it is, it comes with it. Like a water. The breeze doesn't resist a fragrance or a stink. Passes, takes it. The water doesn't resist. I shall be only a triangular shape and not a circular. I will only circular and not rectangular. Water flows. Whatever shape comes, that shape it takes and moves. Therefore, such a person, for him, ko vikshepa, ko chaikagryam, ko nirbodha, ko modhata. What is the harsha and what is vikshepa, what is aikagryam? No thought is a distraction. No thought ekagra, one concentration. That this is how we must concentrate. It is not needed. The ultimate concentration, understand, the ultimate concentration, one-pointedness is being yourself. Ultimate one-pointedness. Whatever I see, hear, taste or smell, experience, think, I am the truth. Therefore, no vikshepa. Suppose concentrating on a light is your ekagra, your concentration in light is ekagra, one-pointedness, and the light changes to mango, distraction. Mango changes to guava, distraction. The things change to a person, distraction. That is why people suffer. Whereas for this person who is aware of himself, any thought is beautiful. Nothing is a distraction. Nothing is to help him to one-pointedness, because he is everywhere, at all times, all places, in all conditions. There is nothing other than himself. Call it Ishvara. Ko nirbodhaka mudata. What is there to foolishness, mudata, delusion, nirbodha, stupidity? None of these things are there. He can behave like a stupid person, and he can also play the role of the most intelligent person. That is the beauty. The person who is intelligent will hate to be stupid. That is why they try to, even intelligent people, they try to be always intelligent. They can't for a change become stupid just to comfort somebody. The stupid person is always stupid, and he feels affected also because he thinks that stupidity is intelligence. What to do? It's like a person who is ignorant. He thinks all his behavior is a sign of wisdom. He is like the otter Who is the cat in the water? Huh? He beautifully gets into the water, comes out of the water. The cat wants to imitate the otter. What will happen? It will die in the water. The wise person can be amphibian, as much comfortable in the water, that much comfortable on the land. The wise one is as much comfortable with a role, that much comfortable without a role. Ignorant person trying to imitate, he is comfortable only with a particular role, can't live without a role, feels uncomfortable. Everybody respecting him, he likes it. Somebody disrespect, destroys. Somebody praises him, oh. Somebody humiliates him, pulls him down, disastrous. Whereas in wisdom, sukha dukkhe same krutva, lava lava jaya. Whether it is sukha, dukkha, lava, alava, profit or loss, victory or defeat, respect, mana apamana yo tulya, tatha mitrari paksheyo. Respect, disrespect, whether it is a friend or enemy, it doesn't make any difference. Conducive atmosphere, inconducive heat. Some people praise, some people are jealous. Both are fine. Why? Because he doesn't exist. He's not a target of somebody. Understand? Absolute being with himself. Kva harsha kva vishado va sarvada niskriyasya me sarvada niskriyasya. One who is eternally niskriya. There is no activity, there is no thinking, no perceiving, no moving, no not moving. There is nothing, niskriya. In your sense of being is the tremendous inactivity. It's like space. What movements are there? Movements are in space. The space doesn't move. In consciousness there is thoughts and movements. Consciousness itself never moves. Niskriyasya. Therefore, what changes? Anger, hatred, jealousy, emotions, thoughts. Being yourself. Kvacha yesha vyavahara, kvacha sa paramarthata. People talk about vyavaharika satta. We shall finish it up tomorrow. I have some work today. 4 verses, 11, 12, 13, 14. Tomorrow we shall finish. Tomorrow is the last class of ASHTAVAKRA GITA. Okay? Kvacha yesha vyavahara. Kvacha va paramarthata. Some people talk about vyavaharika satta, paramarthika satta, pratibhasika satta. 3 things are there. Vyavahara, pratibhasika, vyavahara, empirical reality, perceived creation. Pratibhasika satta, subjective reality, like a dream, or your anger, hatred, jealousy, that's your pratibhasika. Or some people say paramarthika satta, there is one paramartha satta, absolute, but there is no vyavahara, none of these things. For this wise person, na vyavahara, na pratibhasika, na paramarthika. Either the empirical, subjective, or the absolute reality. These are all classifications. There is only one reality. Finish. That is why this is not to be talked about, bandied about, because please understand, in discussion there is logic, standpoints, perceptions of different kinds. In being yourself, it is beyond logic, beyond perception, beyond any type of discussion. That is why vachalam karoti mukam. There is nothing to talk about. Whatever the person says, yes, that's all right, that's fine. You know, it's not a joke, huh? 100% yes man. Shall I worship? Yes. Why should I worship? Don't. There is a God? Yeah. But what God? What God? There is only one reality? Yes. But how can you say it's one? Yeah, how can you say it's one? We need a teacher. Yes, we need a teacher. But what is the need of a teacher? Yeah, what is the need of a teacher? But intellectual deliberation is establishing there is no need for a teacher, but all the time pining for something. Establishing that there is nothing called a God or a creation or anything, but always feeling empty inside. You talk about it, but you don't understand what it is. There is only one absolute reality. By chance somebody says, no, there is no such reality, then you get angry. For what? Because you are taking a stand. When you are taking a standpoint, you get angry, you upset yourself, you upset everybody. And by chance you are in a discussion, you are always waiting how to prove yourself. And how to, other discussion means only to defeat the other people. A discussion can mean also recognizing other people's greatness. You understand? It's so, when you talk to people, you know. When you talk to people, they take a stand. Because that is their security. Or they try to impress you. So by chance somebody dismisses their standpoint, finished. In wisdom, if somebody accepts it, excellent. Somebody rejects it, fantastic. Why? Because to whom I am talking, he or she, himself or herself is the wisdom. Suppose the person has a limited standpoint, let him be there. As long as he or she is there, how does it matter? Think. The important thing is, I see the truth for myself. ASHTAVAKRA saw it, revealed it, Janaka saw it. Between the two, this discussion is going on. What all you revealed, O Lord, that's what I am reveling in. So both are fantastic. Kwa sukham kvachava dukkham nirvimarsasya me sada. Nirvimarsha, there is no vimarsha. Means no ups and downs, no divisions, dualities, contemplation, no contemplation. The idea of when they are no more lost in the thoughts of any kind, perception or sensation of any kind, what sukham, what dukkham. Always I am with myself. Okay? With that, we shall see tomorrow 4 verses, we shall finish it up. Okay? Thank you very much. Now please think it up. Today's the most important point, as I told you. Please go back and see for yourself. Long before you see something, the seeing has already started. You understand that point? Seeing is continuous. So long before you start seeing at the level of your eyes, being is already started, beginningless. So your being is beginningless. Seeing has its limit, because when you are hearing, you may not be seeing. When you are touching, you are not hearing. When you are smelling, you are not eating. When you are eating, you may not be seeing. But in all these things, you are being. Are you getting that point, please? Your sense of being is continuous. So what should you do to be conscious? To see the flower, you must go to a flower. To see, what should you do? At least you can say, open my eyes. But open your eyes is an activity, but seeing is not an activity. When you open your eyes, can you say, I open my eyes and I am yet to see? Can you say that? When you close your eyes, you have a prevented seeing. The seeing is continuous. To be, should you close your eyes or open your eyes? To see, you have to open your eyes. To be, should you open your eyes or close your eyes? The being is continuous, always in meditation. Okay? Please either think it over, come tomorrow with the last class. Close your eyes, please. Thank you, friends. Thank you.